Hi everyone, welcome to Watch It Played Table Talk Back. My name is Rodney Smith, and in this episode we're going to take a look at your suggestions for helping me refine my New Year's gaming resolution. We're also going to announce our Watch It Played viewer-voted Game of the Year, and one of you who voted are going to win one of these three games here, so you might want to stick around and see who won. But right now, let's take a look at some of your own personal gaming resolutions, and maybe some of you watching will find something here that you'd like to adopt. Paul Sanchez says, I was thinking about making a resolution to introduce 1 to 2 non-gaming people to board gaming each month. Eric Hurst said, my gaming resolution is to host more game nights. And Alex McCauley said, my gaming resolution, wring every bit of pleasure out of the board games that I have by hosting dinner parties. Now, I put all three of these together because I think they all really work well together. First of all, it's a great idea. Why not introduce some more people to gaming? I think that's a great resolution. But a wonderful way to do it is with a dinner party. If you just say, hey, I want to have people over for a board game night, people might get a little nervous about that. They might feel like, oh, am I smart enough to win at board games? What does this mean, board games? And a lot of their biases will come from their own experiences. But people know how to eat food, and they like eating food for the most part. And so this is a great way to bring people together, get them in a good mood, and then introduce a fun, light party game that people can enjoy together. And hopefully, some of those at the table will discover they have a real enjoyment of board games and may want to pursue things further. Besides, when they're at your house, you can kind of show them your collection of board games. Again, I would save that for later in the evening so you don't scare them away. And Chuck Hughes says, I'm using the 2014 challenge, play 10 games 10 times each on Board Game Geek to force myself to play more games. Now, a number of you wrote in about this. This is a proposed idea challenge where you pick 10 games that you own that you will play at least 10 times during the course of the year. So that's still it's 100 plays. That's quite a bit, and that's a significant challenge. So any of you going on with that, again, good luck, and I wish you the best. I think it's a great idea, especially for those of you who like the idea of playing less games more often. I think that particular challenge really feeds into that desire really nicely. Jeff Patino says, if I attempted such a resolution, I would have to play at least one game every day in 2014. So that's not going to happen. Yes, to accomplish this resolution, I'm probably going to have to double down as well. And I was just recently at the Boardroom Game Cafe, and I got to enjoy several hours of uninterrupted gaming. So that allowed me, I now have played 16 games in my collection, and it's January 14th, so I'm just slightly ahead of the curve if I was trying to play at least one game a day in my collection. Cora wrote, our resolution for 2013 is to actually play all of our new games before we buy more. We'll see how long we last. Well, Cora, it's been a couple of days. You'll have to let me know. I'm assuming you've already broken this resolution, but if you're holding strong, good for you. Miss Ashy Q says, my resolution is to play all of my heavier games at least twice before letting myself buy anything new. It's a slightly more moderate resolution. I still think it's going to be quite a challenge. Barry Dublaze says, my gaming resolution is just to play more and have more fun. He also adds, your gaming resolution, Rodney, should be to get rid of games that you did not rate higher than 8.5 on Board Game Geek. Barry's poking a little bit of fun at me here because he knows if you go to my collection, if I've rated a game at all, I've always given it a rating of 8. And that might be a little weird for people. Let me just explain it quickly. If I own a game and I haven't played it yet, then I don't give it a rating at all. It doesn't mean I don't like the game, it just means I haven't played it yet. Or I haven't only played it once and I don't feel like I've got a good handle on it. If I have played the game and I enjoy it, I give it a rating of 8. And if I have a game and I don't enjoy it, then I just don't list it at all, because it's a game that I'm going to try to get out of my collection as soon as possible. See, I feel like it's really difficult to give a number rating to a game. It's part of the reason why I would be a terrible reviewer. Because, I don't know, what's the difference between a 6.7 and a 7.3? And in particular, take a game like Game of Thrones and King of Tokyo, both ones I own and enjoy. There are situations where I would way prefer to play King of Tokyo over Game of Thrones. I adore the Game of Thrones board game. Does that mean I like King of Tokyo more than Game of Thrones? No, it just means it depends on the situation and the time. There's other situations where I'd much rather play Game of Thrones than King of Tokyo. So to me, I always struggle with trying to fix a specific number to a game. So that's why they're all 8. I know I'm weird. You guys also had some feedback for my proposed resolution rules. Here they were again quickly. Games I've acquired up until January 31st of 2014 must be played by December 31st of 2014. Apps and digital plays don't count. They must be complete plays. I can't just play half of the game and then quit. And I decided that Grail games should be excluded from this, a very small collection of Grail games. Mike Peterson, he said, you mentioned in the same sentence 7 Wonders and 7 Wonders packs were safe because I had played 7 Wonders. He said, if you had played it without the Seven Wonders packs, I think that the Seven Wonders pack should still be safe. In other words, expansions should not be included in this. And I have to say I agree with you. Trying to play all of the expansions for Lord of the Rings could take up several months of my time, to be honest. So playing the base game, I think, is what's essential. I'm going to try to play those expansions as well, but I agree. It shouldn't be a hard and fast rule that you have to. Bathtubs and Z says, I have to disagree about apps. I find playing Lord of the Rings on Octagon just so much more convenient than in real life and easier to find people to play with. Same goes for Netrunner. Listen, I totally understand the convenience, and I can see why you'd want to do that. But my feeling is, if I'm just primarily playing it on the app, then I don't need the hard copy version. So let's make some room in my collection for something there isn't an app for. Jonathan White says, personally, I don't feel like any games should be staying off the chopping block, including Grail games. Jonathan, don't be so tough on me here, buddy. No, I like that. That's hardcore, and I think that's a great way to go. I think in my situation, though, I am going to stick to having a few exclusions. Drop Dead Criminal says, for Grail games, I would say it should be a percentage of your games. The logic would be that the more games you have in total, the more of them that are going to be rare, out of print, iconic, sentimental, etc. I would put it somewhere in the 5% range. So if you have 100 games, then you get 5 Grail games. I think I like that. It sounds good to me, 5%. So I think I will do the same. I'm still going to try to play my Grail games, but if I don't, I'm going to have a little pot there. I can sort of set those in and say, these ones are untouchable. Guy Fast, I can't join in because I have to play more than one board game each day. Where would I find someone to play all those games with? That is a good point about this challenge, right? I mean, it's one thing to say I am committing to playing all of my games, but I have to find other people who are willing to play them along with me. Yes, that could prove a challenge. I agree. E16 says, when I heard about the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund auction on Board Game Geek at the end of 2013, I took a look at my collection and realized I had several unplayed games. And what better use for unplayed games than to donate them to a worthy cause? This is a great idea. The Jack Vassal Memorial Fund is one that was set up by Tom Vassal. I'm sure you've all heard of him. He's the popular host of the Dice Tower. And this fund is to raise money for gamers in their time of need. So they have a board that will help decide where and when that money should be distributed. But it goes, again, to gamers who are finding themselves in a difficult situation where financial relief would be helpful. Dormicon blog says, my gaming resolution is to actually find you at Gen Con 2014 and not mistake you for a guy dressed up as Where's Waldo. Yes, Brian. I remember talking to you about this. Brian thought he had seen me at Gen Con dressed up as Waldo from Where's Waldo. I have yet to wear a costume to a convention. I don't think I probably will, as much as I enjoy seeing them. Mark Earnhardt says, Rodney, for the love of all things holy, if you're going to wear a cool t-shirt in your video, then stand up so we can see the whole thing. The suspense is killing me. What does the bottom of your shirt say? Okay, in the last episode, I wore this shirt here, and I think all that was revealed was Thor puts the what? He puts the hammer down. This is a shirt that Luke gave me for Christmas, and yes, I apologize that I kind of left you in suspense there. Well, now you've seen it. And I would like to add one last final refinement to my resolution. You don't have to play your own copy of a game in your collection. For example, I was at the Boardroom Game Cafe, and they have a number of games there, some of which I own as well. I'm counting any of those games that I played as having played a game from my collection. I'll put a total list of all of the little rules related to this resolution in the description of this video if you're curious to see them. This will be, I guess, the official resolution. But for now, I think it would be nice for us to announce the viewer-voted Watch It Played Game of the Year for 2013. Now, the game didn't have to be released in 2013, just featured on our channel during that time. And I asked you to pick one of those games that either you own yourself and enjoyed playing the most, or that you enjoyed seeing the most on our channel. And the winner is Descent, Journeys in the Dark, 2nd edition by Fantasy Flight Games. So congratulations to them. I certainly remember that playthrough well because I had recorded an ending in which I had won because I thought I had. And then one of you clever viewers wrote in and pointed out that Luke and the heroes could have and should have won that game. And I can't complain because the ending and the narrative that went along with the end of that playthrough was pretty exciting. I certainly enjoyed it, and apparently a number of you did as well. So if that's one that you haven't seen, it's one you might want to check out. Tied for 2nd place was Kemet and Takenoko. I have to say, I am so glad I was not responsible for picking a favorite because at the end of the day, I get to pick which games actually end up on the Watch It Played channel. So I like all of them in one way or another, and choosing between them would have been, that would have just been I wouldn't have enjoyed it one bit at all. I'll tell you one thing I really did enjoy though. A number of you, when you wrote in your votes, took the time to write extra stuff. Comments about what the channel's meant to you over the past year, things that you've enjoyed on it, what gaming has meant in your life, and what little parts we've played in that. And I have to say, that was incredibly rewarding and meaningful to read. So thank you for taking the time to do that. That was really special. And now it's time for us to do a little giveaway. Everyone who voted on our Game of the Year, and there was a total of 228 of you as shown on this list here. And here I have a randomizer app. When I punch on the question mark, it's going to give me a number between 1 and 228. Whichever of you is beside that number, you win. And here we go. The winner is number 195. So going back to our list here, got this marked off by 10. So there's 190, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The winner is Adam Williams. Congratulations, Adam. I'll send you an email and you'll be able to choose from one of these 3 games, either the Trollfin's Descent expansion, Masquerade, or Agent Hunter. And thanks again to all of you for participating, for being a part of Watch It Played in 2013. I'm really excited about 2014. I got a bunch of games lined up that I cannot wait to teach you how to play and then to also play with you on the channel. So I hope you'll stick around. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.
My New Year's gaming resolution, if you remember way back in Tabletop episode 3, I said, buy less games, play more times. Well, that's all gonna change. Now I'm gonna be buying more games. That's my new resolution. Yeah. Well, scratch that. Back to the old resolution. Buy less games, play more times. Yeah.
My biggest gaming resolution, which has been my gaming resolution since last year, is to get off that chair and step away from that massive gaming computer to play more board games.
I am so excited that you posted your resolution video, Rodney. I challenged Matt to a very similar resolution this year. I challenged him to play all of his games at least once this year. If you haven't noticed, we have quite a few games, so it's going to be a very difficult challenge for him.
Yeah, and obviously ever since the baby, gaming is a lot harder to get and to do. So I'm going to jump on that, and I'm going to try to follow Rodney's resolution, maybe slightly modified. Well,
he doesn't want to give away his games. He can't do it.
I can't commit to that yet. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, well, at least for now, I'm going to be on a no buying new games until I've at least played everything. For the most part, I might do like a 2/3 of my collection exception or something like that.
2/3?
I don't know. I'm evolving it. It's gotta. Yeah, anyway, I really like your idea though. I think that's awesome. I like the idea of it. Like I like what you said. You're not forcing yourself to play these games even if you don't want to. But there's a reason why you have those games. Like for me, there's just all these obscure games I might have that I've only played once or twice in the couple of years that I've had them. But I always like to know that they're there and I can go to them. So doing something like this is actually really exciting because it's an excuse to say. I mean, even while we're really loving a particular game, it's an excuse for us to go back and play something that we know we like. We just, maybe it wouldn't come to the table, unless we had a specific reason. This seems like a great way to do it.
And that in mind, I have a resolution this year related to gaming in that I'm trying to make more time at night to actually sit down and play a game with Matt. It's really easy for both of us to, once the baby is asleep, sit down on the couch and veg out and then end up going to bed early. Very easy. But we never regret playing a game together, and in fact, we always, after playing a game, say, we need to do this more often. So I'm resolving to play more games and say yes to games more often.
That's a win-win for me, and I'll take it.
Hi Rodney, it's Neil here from the UK. 2014 hopefully will be a busy one in terms of my career, which will leave limited time for gaming. However, I do have some goals that I'm trying to achieve in the gaming world. One of which is to develop my blog that I started last year, which is all about gaming with my son and my family. To do this, I'm hoping to create my own website, and also to be better at tracking which games I'm playing, how many I'm playing, and who I'm playing them with, whether it's my son, whether it's my family, or whether it's my gaming group, or even solo. So that's me, that's what I'm hoping to achieve in 2014.
So I'd like to begin by painting it over and showing a few of the games I have now. So the Hobbit board game, the Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation, the Lord of the Rings board game, the Lord of the Rings card game, Lord of the Rings Risk down there, another version of Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation, an expansion pack to the Lord of the Rings board game, and if I looked hard enough, I'd probably find a few others around the room. So the point is, I have a lot of Lord of the Rings themed games already, so my main goal for this year is actually going to be to expand my overall theme of board games, because my future wife-to-be, she doesn't like the theme as well as I do. As you can see, I'm obviously a huge fan, but she isn't as big of a fan, so one goal that I do have is to get games that both of us can enjoy more. So one game in particular that I have my sights on is the Lewis and Clark board game, which should be arriving March of this year if I remember correctly. So that's one I'll definitely want to get. So thanks for watching.